However, there's also a strong chance that the cast of Baldur's Gate 3 may appear elsewhere. The characters are now the property of Hasbro's and Wizards of the Coast, not Larian Studios, meaning that the memorable companions of Baldur's Gate 3 could appear in any other Dungeons & Dragons title at some point in the future. However, there's nothing set in stone at this time. What's up, guys? It's the Gaming Czar bringing you your daily gaming news. And today we got a few stories that you might like and you might not like. So without further ado, let's get into it. I was fucking excited when I saw this announcement. Hades 2 technical test now open for signups. It's still unknown when the game will enter full early access. If you played the first Hades, then you know that this game is fucking phenomenal. Like, the story was really engaging. The gameplay itself, oh man, like, I don't think I've had such buttery smooth controls in a top-down game like this one. Man, listen, you could do some crazy things in Hades. And with this being announced, I just wanted to share my excitement with y'all and let y'all know that go sign up. So real quick, let's get into it. Supergiant Games has announced that Hades 2 technical test and players can sign up now. The Hades 2 technical test will place prior to the game's early access launch, which Supergiant says is closed. The technical test will contain much content than what's in store for early access. Supergiant says it may only be available to a small subset of players. To register interest, players can visit the game's Steam page and sign up for the test. I signed up immediately once I saw this announcement. For how long the test will take place, Supergiant says, the nature of the test is such that we don't know exactly how long it will last, though our estimates is longer than a week, shorter than a month. Supergiant Games also provide an update on the game's early access launch. We likewise don't know exactly when we will launch Hades 2 in early access, since that will depend on how long we end up running the technical test. Following the early access, the studio plans to add the rest of the game's core content and refine what's really already there in a series of updates. The story will expand with each update as we introduce more characters and deepen relationships with existing ones, it said. This process will culminate in our 1.0 launch, which will feature the conclusion to the story and other finishing touches. Announced in December 2022, Hades 2 is a direct sequel to its predecessor, which won multiple Game of the Year awards. It was released in September of 2020 following our early access launch date in December 2018. That's it. I just wanted to let y'all know to go sign up for the technical test. This game is going to be another Game of the Year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I already know. Next topic. 70% of developers worry about the live service model sustainability survey shows. Nearly a third are very concerned about the future of the trend. My opinion on live service models, I like some live service games, not all of them. No, I don't play Fortnite. Fortnite isn't one of the live service games that I'm talking about. Path of Exiles, I believe that's considered live service. Last Epoch, things of that nature. I spent way too much of my time of playing those ARPGs. Way too much. As part of a new survey carried out by game developers, 600 developers were interviewed between February and March and asked a number of questions about business models and monetization in games. Participants were asked how concerned they were about the stability of live service business models commonly being used today. Of those asked, 39% said they were somewhat concerned, while 31% say they were very concerned. A quarter said they weren't concerned, while the remaining 4% didn't know. Live service games are generally defined as those which continue to provide regular content after a game has been released, such as regular seasons with battle passes, for example, in an attempt to keep their players engaged and ultimately encourage continued spending on the game through microtransactions or subscriptions. Of the surveys who said they were either somewhat or very concerned about the model's sustainability, around 2/3 said they were worried about the players losing interest in live service games or that the competition from other live service games would affect theirs. Rising user acquisition costs and development costs were also cited as concerns. So this is the chart. Let's check this out. Sustainability of live service games. 70% of developers have concerns about stability of their current live service business models. All right, 4% don't know, 31% very concerned, 39% somewhat concerned, 25% not concerned at all. Loss of interest from players and increased competition are the major drivers of sustainable Sustainability concerns. What are your main concerns about the sustainability of live service business models? Players losing interest in live service games, competition from the other live service games, rising user acquisition costs, rising development costs, competition from other entertainment, loss of interest from investors, other, or I don't know. Yo, the 1% that don't know, y'all gotta get y'all shit together. Last month, the hell? Last month, Warner Bros. Discovery reiterated its plans to increase focus on live service and free-to-play games. Speaking at Morgan Stanley's conference, the company's CEO of global streaming and games, J.B. Parrott, said its 4 main IPs, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, DC, and Harry Potter, will be involved in these plans. The opportunity is to take those 4 franchises and to be able to develop a much more holistic approach, particularly around expanding into mobile and multi-platform free-to-play service, which could give us a much better consistent set of revenue, he said. And you'll see us launching later this year some mobile free-to-play games, which we hope will start building that. And then secondary live updates. So rather than just launching a kind of one-and-done console game, how do we develop a game around, for example, Hogwarts Legacy or Harry Potter that is live service where people could come play and live and work and build and play in the world along an ongoing basis? A developer who worked on Knockout City also said last month that developers should consider releasing modified private server versions of their live service games when they eventually shut down in order to preserve them to make them playable in the future. I don't think your audience wants a live action service Harry Potter game. I don't think you're talking to me. I'm not your target audience for that. But I think the people who are Harry Potter fans, I don't think they want a live service Harry Potter. Same for DC. DC Universe, don't get me wrong, DC Universe has been alive probably longer than I have. I'm over 30. That's a lie. It hasn't been alive longer than I have. But the point that I'm trying to make is that DC Universe has been out for ages and it's still going. I don't know if it's actually profitable. It should be, because they're still able to continue going on and they haven't shut down that live service yet. But I just recently seen a commercial, an ad for DCU online. I mean, it's still going. I haven't stepped into the game, so I don't know how good it's going, but I mean, if you're making money, who's to complain, right? Next topic. All right, guys. I'm not too happy about this. I'm gonna try to save all comments till after I finish this article. I have a decent amount that I need to say. Baldur's Gate sequel is happening, but there's a catch. Baldur's Gate 3 will get a sequel after all, according to Dungeons & Dragons parent company Hasbro, but fans should know there's a catch. Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast are moving forward with plans for a sequel to Baldur's Gate 3. The news comes from the reveal that Larian Studios, developer of Baldur's Gate 3, is stepping back from the series following the award-winning game's launch. Baldur's Gate 3 took the gaming world by storm upon release, following its predecessor almost a quarter of the century later. A number of elements led to the title being beloved by fans and critics alike, with its story, characters, world, and gameplay all being major components. Many players eagerly awaited news from Larian Studios about a follow-up, but were surprised and disappointed to hear that Baldur's Gate 3 wouldn't be receiving any DLC or expansions. Furthermore, Larian Studios announced that it would not continue with the series, and a hypothetical Baldur's Gate 4 wouldn't be coming from its studio. In an interview with PC Gamer, Dungeons & Dragons owner has revealed that there will eventually be a Baldur's Gate 3 sequel, even without Larian Studios. The company is currently looking into the matter, but Eugene Evans, Senior Vice President of Digital Strategy and Licensing, notes that it is in its extremely early stages. The company is currently exploring potential partners to develop the game, but Evan indicates that it could be a long while before the sequel materializes. His quote reads, "We're going to take our time and find the right partner, and the right approach, and the right product that could represent the future of Baldur's Gate. We take that very seriously, as we do with all of our decisions around our portfolio. We don't rush into decisions as to who to partner with on products or what products we should be considering. All comments are being held until the end of this article. Specifically, Evans stated that while the company hopes that it doesn't take another 25 years to release the next game of the franchise, Hasbro is making its decision cautiously with care. After the massive success of Baldur's Gate 3, which is definitely something Hasbro doesn't want to rush into, however, there's also a strong chance that the cast of Baldur's Gate 3 may appear elsewhere. The characters are now the property of Hasbro's and Wizards of the Coast, not Larian Studios, meaning that the memorable companions of Baldur's Gate 3 could appear in any other Dungeons & Dragons title at some point in the future. However, there's nothing set in stone at this time. Baldur's Gate 3 was an extreme success for Hasbro and Larian Studios alike, and the game has gone on to break records for the Gaming Awards won. While there are certainly fans who would like nothing more than return to the game's universe immediately, Hasbro is likely making the right choice. A rushed game is likely to turn out to be disappointing to fans, and after the meticulous care that went into the title's development, players are expecting a lot from the Baldur's Gate 3 follow-up. Okay, the article is over. So, I don't like what Hasbro is doing. I get it. They said they're trying to take their time. They said they're trying to find the right partner for this. I get it. I understand. My thing is, Hasbro, I don't think really understands or can even comprehend the love and care that went into making a Baldur's Gate 3. There's a reason why Baldur's Gate 3 went on to do what it did. For starters, Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access for years, as long as I can remember. I believe about 4 or 5 years it was in early access. Larian, I wouldn't consider them a AAA studio before Baldur's Gate 3. After Baldur's Gate 3, I probably consider them more like a AA. They really they produced a AAA game as a AA studio. That's what I would say. And personally, I don't think Hasbro has what it takes to pull this off. Even if they find the right partners, even if they find the right people to bring it all together. Without Larian, without the original people who came up with this stuff, you got to think Baldur's Gate was built off of the back of Divinity Original Sin. If you haven't played it, go play 1 and go play 2. Divinity Original Sins, both of those games are fantastic. Like I said, Baldur's Gate 3 was built off of those backs. I believe Larian even said that they were making these games so that they could build up to the magnum opus, which was, at the time, Baldur's Gate 3. Now they're moving on to much bigger things, and I'm so proud and happy of Larian Studios. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be too mad at Hasbro, right? Or Larian. I'm not mad at Larian at all. You know, they made their product, they made a bunch of money, they got their accolades, they sold their product, and now they're moving on to something else. That's usually how business goes. You build something up, you make a bunch of money from it, you sell the business, and then you never gotta worry about it again while you sit on your bunch of money. So I'm not mad at Larian, but I don't know, we're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see. I don't get excited when I hear this. If anything, this actually made me kind of upset. But that's all that I have for you guys today. If you made it this far and you like what you heard, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you made it this far and you didn't like what you heard, like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm the Gaming Zon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.